In this video, we'll break down exactly how much 70,000 Ravencoin could be worth by 2026. We'll cover recent price action, the latest 2025 developments, key predictions for the next bull cycle, and realistic scenarios, both conservative and bullish, so you know what to expect from your RVN stack. But before we dive in, if you want to trade crypto, I personally use WEEX. It's a reliable exchange with deep liquidity, low fees, and a massive selection of coins. You can claim up to $30,000 in sign-up bonuses and trade with up to 400x leverage. Just hit the link in the description and claim your bonus. No KYC required. Now let's get into it. Right now, Ravencoin trades around $0.01578, just under 1.6 cents. That makes your 70,000 tokens worth about $1,104. Not life-changing yet, but this coin has been moving, and something's building behind the scenes. It's not just speculation anymore. After flying under the radar for most of 2024, Ravencoin got a serious jolt in 2025 when Upbit, South Korea's biggest crypto exchange, listed it. On June 5th, the RVN KRW pair went live, and the result was chaos in a good way. The price jumped nearly 70% within hours, volume exploded, and the project re-entered the spotlight. But here's the question. Was that a one-off pump, or is Ravencoin finally waking up? Let's back up. Ravencoin launched in 2018 as a fork of Bitcoin, but it wasn't trying to be the next BTC. It was built for one thing, putting real-world assets on-chain. You want to tokenize land, securities, or digital collectibles? Ravencoin makes it simple. There's no need for smart contracts. Asset creation is native to the chain. The network is capped at 21 billion tokens, has a 1-minute block time, and operates on Cowpow, an ASIC-resistant algorithm that ensures mining remains fair. No pre-mine, no ICO, no VC seed round. This project was grassroots from day one. The listing on Upbit wasn't just good news, it was a technical breakout. Ravencoin shattered long-term resistance levels. RSI pushed into the 70s, MACD flipped bullish, volumes surged from under $10 million to well over $300 million in 24 hours. And that wasn't all. Shortly after, BitGet added RVN to its innovation zone on June 7th, giving it even more global exposure. Since then, the price has cooled slightly, but not collapsed. It's holding above key support at 1.4 to 1.5 cents. Resistance sits just under 2.2. If Ravencoin clears that, the next natural targets are 2.6 and 3 cents. That's where traders start watching closely. Breakouts above 3 could put serious momentum back behind the project. One of the more underrated strengths of Ravencoin is how asset creation works. When you create a token, you're not just minting something with a name and a number. You can embed metadata, assign custom rules, and make assets either fungible or non-fungible. This gives creators full flexibility. You could issue concert tickets, track carbon credits, or manage digital gaming assets, all with different properties, all secured by the network's native code, not external smart contracts that might fail or get exploited. And because every asset must burn RVN to be created, there's a natural deflationary mechanic built in. Real-world adoption isn't some far-off theory either. In early 2025, a boutique real estate firm in Southeast Asia began experimenting with fractionalized ownership using Ravencoin assets. Each token represented a verified equity share in physical property, backed by legal documentation and uploaded directly on-chain. It allowed smaller investors to gain exposure to property markets without traditional barriers, and all with complete transparency and transferability. Projects like these are quietly proving that RVN isn't just for speculative trading. It's infrastructure that can power the next phase of blockchain utility. Compared to chains like Ethereum, Ravencoin has a lighter, more purpose-built design. Ethereum's smart contracts offer flexibility, but they also carry risk, exploits, gas fees, and complexity. Ravencoin's simplicity becomes its strength. It focuses only on tokenization and transfer. There's no staking mechanism or DeFi sprawl. It avoids feature bloat. That makes it ideal for people and companies that need a dependable, narrow-use chain with rock-solid uptime. It's not trying to do everything. It's trying to do one thing really well. And in crypto, that kind of focus is rare. Looking forward, developers in the community have hinted at improving asset discoverability, making it easier to explore and verify tokens directly through Ravencoin's Explorer. There's also talk of building more bridges to enable wrapped RVN for trading on other chains without central custodians. If implemented well, this would open Ravencoin to broader liquidity pools and help it tap into cross-chain DeFi without compromising on its core values. These are small steps, but they're signs of a network evolving with intention, not hype. Let's talk mining. Ravencoin's Cowpow algorithm keeps it GPU-friendly, which is rare these days. Most chains have gone proof-of-stake or centralized ASIC-dominated setups. Ravencoin is one of the few left that smaller miners can actually participate in. That helps decentralize the network, keep hash rate stable, and avoid major power grabs by big farms. So what are analysts saying? Changelly expects Ravencoin to average around 2.9 cents by 2026. Coinpedia is more aggressive, forecasting an average closer to 3.8 cents with highs above 5.8. Cryptopolitan's data-driven models put it between 2.3 and 4.2 depending on adoption speed. Conservative outlets like gov.capital suggest RVN could actually dip closer to 1.2 cents if hype fades and no further listings arrive. So the range is wide, but grounded in actual sentiment and usage. Now let's run the numbers for your 70,000 RVN. At 2 cents, you're holding $1,400. At 2.6, it's $1,820. If it climbs to 3.9 cents, you're looking at $2,730. And in the most bullish scenario, 5.8 cents, you've got $4,060. The low end? A fallback to 1.2 cents puts you at $840. That gives you a window from $840 to $4,000 by 2026. What could drive the top end of that range? More listings, more asset creation use cases, stronger community development, and most importantly, actual adoption by people outside crypto Twitter. We've already seen Asian retail markets take notice. If institutional players begin using Ravencoin for tokenized asset management, the game changes. Even one high-profile use case, like a tokenized property platform or certified academic record system, could bring in thousands of new users overnight. Of course, there are risks. The upbit spike could be temporary. If burn rates slow or new assets drop off, RVN might lose momentum. Competing platforms like Avalanche or Ethereum's L2S are building similar tools with larger ecosystems. Regulation could impact how tokenized assets are treated, which affects use case growth. And let's not forget, sentiment is fragile. One dump, and momentum disappears fast. Still, the support levels holding after the June run are a good sign. Long positions are stacking. The Fear and Greed Index shows rising optimism, and mining stats remain stable, which keeps the chain secure. So what's the move? If you believe Ravencoin will carve out a lane in tokenized real-world assets, holding or even dollar-cost averaging makes sense. If you're cautious, you might take profit at 2.2 or 2.6 and ride the rest. But if you're all in on the tech and long-term adoption, you might just sit back and wait for that 4 to 5 cent breakout. You've got the numbers. You've got the story. Now it's your decision. Drop a comment. What's your 2026 prediction for RVN? 2 cents? 4 cents? Or do you think it's going back under 1? Hit like if this gave you clarity, subscribe for more altcoin deep dives, and I'll catch you in the next one.